Namaskar and welcome to this exciting episode of Sattology, debunking mythology. Sattology means science of truth or study of truth. Opposite of that is mythology, which means science or study of fake, lie, or imagination. All our shows are backed with a lot of solid data from Veda. I call Veda as a science, axiomatic truth, because ultimately everyone reaches there. Any Anything which is written over there, it reaches there, including the distance of planets. And I'll do a separate show on the distance of planets as per Vedas. And today I have a very, very special guest, and we are going to continue our discussion on Kaal. Kaal means the time. Let us welcome Dr. Aparna Dhir Khandelwal.
Namaste, Aditya.
Namaskar and welcome. So,
Thank you.
we were doing Samvatsar and suddenly we have jumped to Kaal based on last discussion. So, what difference you found between Kaal and Samvatsar?
See, first of all, I'm very grateful to you to highlight this point in our last discussion that was based on Samvatsar. We already had 4 discussions related to that topic, 4 particular, see, this shows on Samvatsar only, which describes various viewpoints regarding that as per the Brahmins of Yajurveda, mainly. And then just say you asked me the question, what about the Kaal? If you think Samvatsar is the biggest one, so what about the Kaal? Yes, that's a point. What's about the Kaal? So I thought, yes, let's find out whether it was there in the Brahmin, especially in the Yajurvedic Brahmins, or it was not there. See, I have studied some portion of the Rig Veda and the Atharveda. I found it is there in the form of Surya and other things. But what about that particular word? So with this presentation, I will let you know whether it is related to Samvatsar or not. So thanks to you for pointing out that particular question and allow me to have such a descriptive knowledge hidden from our Vedas that I have to dig out just because of your question.
Actually, because the Kaal is like a general denomination. When Krishna says Kalo Asmi, he's just saying Kaal, like time. We just say time. Time is a very general thing. Kaal is like that general. Anyway, you begin your presentation, then I'll ask you questions after the show, after the presentation.
Sure, definitely. But before that presentation, I would like to mention that when I started this show, I started with this introduction about the Jyotish. And when we talk about Jyotish as per the Yajurvedic Brahmins or the Brahminical era, we started taking the points like astronomical data based on Samvatsar, Ritu, Ayan, etc. So we haven't even think about that collectively this is a Kaal. We just started with the facts, and this is how we came to the presentation of Samvatsar in our past 4 lectures. Now, when we had this inquisitiveness, especially shown by you because you are representing viewers here, I will say that I must say that you are representing many of viewers, and their curiosity also is through you only that I came to know that people are actually looking forward to such discussion. What is Kaal? And that too mainly in the context of Brahmins of Yajurveda. So I have taken this topic today, which you might find interesting, or you may find it very very simple kind.
Simple.
Very simple. But we should know while going through the various facts of the Kaal, various features of the Kaal, one should understand was that word was there in the Brahmins or not. So starting with this, understanding the Kaal is my theme today. When we talk about the Brahmin text, you all know when we talk about Brahmanas, so we have before that we have the Vedic period, or we can say the Sangita period, where we have the mantras or the hymns or the prayers. But to whom we are doing these prayers, these are related to various gods, or you can say various natural forces of our universe, to whom those prayers are dedicated. But in the Brahman literature, we have yajna, or you can say rituals, which are related to those hymns only. These are the actions actually, or the explanations to those hymns in the form of yagya, or you can say the karm kand. In simple word, you can say that you are offering something to them, you are worshipping them through your actions, you are devoting your time, you are devoting your that ahuti, or some ishti when you are performing. That is called a sacrifice. It is not about sacrificing some animal and something like that. This practice of yagya is known as sacrifice as per the Brahmana literature. And yagya is the word in Hindi or Sanskrit which is used throughout the Brahmin text. So it is nothing but the act of surrender to please the God. You are sacrificing, जिसको हम त्याग भावना भी कह सकते हैं. You are sacrificing, you are devoting your time, you are offering something. You are actually surrendering yourself to pleasing that natural gods or nature. So in the act of surrender is itself is yagya, जिसको हम त्याग भी कह सकते हैं. So you are surrendering to them. This is how you perform yagya or the rituals. So why in whole Brahmin text, why the yajman, the rishi is performing the yagya? To gain something. To gain something, what? Mainly the longevity. 100 years is the expected age which they are willing to have. All of them are willing to have. That's why we have the quote, जीवेम शरद शतम, जिसमें ये कहा गया है कि हम 100 जो शरद जिए, हम 100 autumns, we should live 100 autumns, we should see 100 autumns. जीवेम पश्येत शरद शतम, जीवेम शरद शतम. These are like this. Then gaining family and friends. हमारे घर में पशु, हमारे फैमिली हो, हमारे जो फ्रेंड्स हैं, फैमिली संतति के रूप में हमारे जो आगे फैमिली बढ़े. We must have generations with us to have a beautiful life, to live a wonderful life. So we should have peace, prosperity, health, and we must have the जिसको हम heaven कहते हैं, जिसको हम लोक कह सकते हैं, उस लोक की भी कल्पना यहाँ देखने को मिलती है. Then we have better crops and cattle. पशु, जैसे मैं अभी कहने भी लगी थी कि हमारे पास बहुत अच्छे पशु हो, जिसमें अश्व हो, हमारे पास गाय हो, हमारे पास जो गोट जिसे हम कहते हैं बकरी हो, ये सब पशु जो कि हमारे all those animals which are helpful in our domestic animals हों या इस तरह के animals हों, that can be helpful in our farms or agriculture practices. So this is how we can become very prosperous. If that person have all these things like better crops and cattle, family, friends, good age, healthy life, peaceful mind, peaceful surrounding. So this is all these were the desires of the people living in the Brahminical era. So अभी हम जो बात करते हैं कभी कभी मोक्ष की, that is the topic of the Upanishads or the Aranyakas. But in the Brahmin text, they were much focused on these things. They are willing to have such things by pleasing God in the way through the acts of surrendering themselves, through the acts of rituals. Now, so yagya अगर perform करना है, कितना लंबा? What should be the duration of the yagya? What should be the duration of the worship or the offerings? So this is how we can say the practice of related time has evolved. They want to perform some ritual, but to know the actual duration and how much it should be done. So it can be done over the period of hours or months or otherwise for few minutes only. So such kind of calculation develop the concept of time for us during the Brahminical era. And that was, I already mentioned that during my last 2-3 presentations, that all this were based on the astronomical facts. By gazing at the sky, by observing the sky, they have come to know various forms of time units. So this is how we can say that time was an important period, and this yagya practice has evolved the concept of time for the people, for the generations, I must say. So this whole idea, this whole practice of yajna gives us the idea that knowledge of time, was it there or not? This is the question. Was it there? As I already mentioned in my previous 6 talks, that yes, knowledge of time was there. Today we are just correlating all our themes, or our themes, or the subject we have discussed. We have already discussed in detail that there was a period called, in fact, it is a period even today, that is called a samvatsar, or a year, and that is divided into 6 seasons, 12 months, 24 fortnights, or 12 full moons, and then 12 eighth day, and 12 no moons, and 720 day and night. And all these are based on the concept of constellations, the knowledge of the constellations. So Samvatsar word is there, Ritu word is there, Mas word is there, Ardh Mas word is there. Ardh Mas is for the fortnight, Purnamasi is full moon, and Ashtami, Amavas is for the new moon, and Ashtami is for 8th day, and Ahoratri is day and night. Aha means day and Ratra means night. When everything was there, so we can say time, knowledge of time was there. Knowledge of time was actually there. So what about the collective word for all of these? That is the word Kal. Was it there? This needs to be understood. कहाँ क्या ऋषियों ने कभी काल शब्द का प्रयोग किया है? क्या कभी ऋषियों ने ये बताने की कोशिश की, अगर वो यूनिट्स की बात कर रहे थे, तो क्या कभी उन्होंने काल शब्द के बारे में कोई बात ब्राह्मणों में की, और खास तौर पे यजुर्वेदीय ब्राह्मणों में? किस तरह से हम जान पाए कि समय ये जो है, या संवत्सर है, या जो ऋतु है, ये समय का भाग है, ये टाइम को डिनोट करता है? And what should be the word for this? Like I said, Kal. Kal is a common word which is used even today. So was it there? So this is the main point I want to highlight in today's presentation. Yes, it is very much there. Like as you can see in the Kshatriya Brahman. Kshatriya Brahman is nothing but a Brahman, or the explanation of the Kshatriya school, that is related to the Black Yajurveda only. और यू कैन से द कृष्ण यजुर्वेदीय तैतरीय संहिता का जो ब्राह्मण है, दैट इज नोन एज द तैतरीय ब्राह्मण. उसके 3rd चैप्टर में जो 3rd कांड है, 3rd कांड का भी थर्ड जो तृतीय, जिसको हम कहेंगे तीसरा अनुवाक है, तीसरे अनुवाक का भी जो 9वां ब्राह्मण है, मतलब कि 9th ब्राह्मण है, एंड देन 12th वाक्य, 12वां वाक्य, उसके अंदर काल शब्द हमें मिलता है कि काल के अनुसार ही जैसे कि यज्ञ करने का आदेश हमें मिल रहा है. अब बात करते हैं शतपथ ब्राह्मण की, जो कि दैट वाज द लास्ट पॉइंट मेड बाय द आदित्य जी इन आवर लास्ट शो, एंड दैट वाज द मेन हाइलाइटेड पॉइंट व्हिच आई फील, एंड आई वाज एक्चुअली डिप्रेस्ड अबाउट इट, कि व्हाई आई हैवंट टॉक अबाउट दिस वर्ड अर्लियर. So I found out few references related to that which depicts the word Kal, and that is the main theme I have chosen this topic today. So Kal word is there, और ये Kal word जो है, it is denoted, it is well explained in the context of समय only, time जिसे हम कहेंगे. जैसे कि आप देख सकते हैं शतपथ ब्राह्मण के प्रथम कांड, मतलब फर्स्ट चैप्टर का जो 7th अध्याय है, उसका जो 3rd ब्राह्मण है, उसका जो 3rd कंडिका है, जैसे कि पहला सेंटेंस है जो शतपथ ब्राह्मण का, वहां यही है, जो सृष्टिकृत एक यज्ञ है, क्रिया है यज्ञ की, रिचुअल एक प्रैक्टिस है, दैट शुड, उसको कब करना चाहिए, उसका समय के अर्थ में काल शब्द आया है. ऐसे ही जो लास्ट सेंटेंस है आप देख सकते हैं 7th चैप्टर का शतपथ ब्राह्मण का, उसमें भी जो कहा गया है, ता अस्तु दक्षिणा नाम काले अनुदिशेत. इसका क्या अर्थ है कि जो समय है, दक्षिणा तभी देनी चाहिए जब उसका समय हो. दक्षिणा देने का आदेश तभी है जब उसका समय आया हो या समय हो. दान भी तभी देना चाहिए. तो ये भी एक यज्ञ प्रैक्टिस के रूप में, एक रिचुअल प्रैक्टिस के रूप में हमें यहाँ पर ये काल शब्द मिलता है. तो दिस इज हाउ वी कैन रिलेट अ वर्ड काल, कि पूरे समय को बताने के लिए, जैसे आज भी हम किसी से बात करते हैं, बोलते हैं कि समय क्या हुआ है, हम टाइम क्या हुआ है, तो हम ये नहीं पूछते आज संवत्सर क्या हुआ है, आज मास क्या है. वो तो तब पूछते हैं whenever we want to have the astronomical कोई astrological हमने कोई study करनी है. If we want to have something like that, then we can go for the panchang details. What is the tithi today? What is the var? What is the current? What is the yog? What is the month? What is the season today? But at present, when we want to have when we want to look at the time only, then we collectively call it as Kal. We use the word Kal for that thing, and that is how it is very well mentioned in the Kshatriya Brahman and the Shatpath Brahman. So this is the main finding of this presentation. Now we have already discussed about these particular words: Samvatsar, Ayan, Ritu, Mas, Paksh, Tithi, Ahoratra. On Samvatsar, we already had a broader discussion in our past 4 lectures, and the related one, the other ones from the Ayan until the Ahoratra, we will have certain discussions in our subsequent lectures or talks. But these terms are not unknown to you, as I have mentioned them many times in my previous talks. So what about this? There is a word called Sai Pratik, शाम और सुबह. ये भी हमें मिलता है शतपथ ब्राह्मण में और तैतरीय ब्राह्मण में. We find this word also भूत भव्य भविष्य, मतलब कि past, present and future. Then we have दिवे दिवे. दिवे दिवे means on daily basis. अद्य श्व का मतलब है, अद्य मीन्स आज, श्व मीन्स कल. Then savan is related to the time which is there for some ritualistic practice, but it is in the term or in the say it is depicted same as time, like any other unit of time. Then purvahan, madhyahan and apra. So these all are, you can say, the व्यवहारिक काल, जिसको हम कह सकते हैं प्रैक्टिकल जो एप्लीकेशन है काल की, उसको हम देख सकते हैं. संवत्सर से अहोरात्र तक तो मोटा मोटा हमें सब में हमेशा मिलता है, हमेशा बात होती है. बट ऐसे सूक्ष्म यूनिट, छोटे से छोटा यूनिट, अभी तो मुहूर्त भी आएगा, अभी तो उसके अंदर और जो छोटे छोटे घटी काष्ठा निमेश वो सब भी आएंगे. बट ये वाले जो काल है ये व्यवहारिकता को बताते हैं. जैसे कोई रिचुअल प्रैक्टिस हो रही है, व्हेन देयर इज सम रिचुअल प्रैक्टिस, इन दैट कॉन्टेक्स्ट जब हम बातचीत में कोई चीज लेना चाह रहे हैं, तो उस समय जिस तरह के समय का प्रयोग करते हैं या यूज ऑफ टाइम, नॉलेज ऑफ टाइम हम करते हैं, देन वी हैव दीज काइंड ऑफ वर्ड्स जिसको हम अपनी डेली एक्टिविटीज में वी इनकलकेट सच काइंड ऑफ वर्ड्स टू, जो हमें अपनी कोई भी अगर रिचुअलिस्टिक प्रैक्टिस का कोई आदेश देना है, वी वांट टू ऑर्डर सम रिचुअलिस्टिक प्रैक्टिस टू समवन एल्स, सो हमें ये सब बातों का ध्यान रखना पड़ता है रिचुअल्स में. सो these words are very commonly found in both the Brahmins of Yajurveda. So like I said, Sai and Pratik. अभी important ये है कि we have already discussed संवत्सर, उसके कई पक्ष हमने रखे, बाकी अभी हम डिस्कस करेंगे. लेकिन ये जो सूक्ष्म काल है, the smaller units of time, क्या इनका कोई रोल है बिगर यूनिट काल को बताने में? क्या उस तरह से हम इसको देख सकते हैं? So I'm taking few examples. Like for the Sai and Pratik, we have some few quotations from the Shatpath Brahman, which says like सुबह भी यज्ञ करना चाहिए, शाम को भी करना चाहिए. उस यज्ञ का नाम कुछ और नहीं है, अग्निहोत्र है. सुबह शाम जो चलती है, जो अग्नि चलती है या जो यज्ञ प्रक्रिया चलती है, that is known as अग्निहोत्र. So सुबह वाला किसके निमित्त होता है? The morning ritual of Agnihotra is dedicated for the sun, and the evening ritual of Agnihotra is dedicated to the Agni, to the fire. So this is how this practice is keep on going. Agnihotra कभी खत्म नहीं होता, इसीलिए कहा गया अग्निहोत्र यज्ञ अनंत है. There is no end to Agnihotra yajna. It keeps moving and moving and moving. So इससे मिलता क्या है यजमान को? यजमान को संपूर्णता मिलती है. अब because these texts are related to the rituals, so they talk like that only. They talk everything in the context, in the words of rituals only. But अगर हम उसमें से निकालना चाहें कि हमें क्या उसमें से फिलोसॉफिकल एस्पेक्ट पता लगता है, सो वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड कि फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल थ्रू अग्निहोत्र प्रैक्टिस द ऋषि वांट्स टू कन्वे दैट जो ये यज्ञ है, जो सृष्टि यज्ञ भी चल रहा है, जो टाइम का यज्ञ चल रहा है, दैट इज अनंत. देयर इज नो एंड टू टाइम. जब साय प्रातः कभी खत्म ही नहीं होगा तो अग्निहोत्र भी खत्म नहीं हो रहा. तो साय प्रातः मतलब कि सुबह शाम जब खत्म नहीं हो रहा, सुबह शाम हमेशा चलता रहेगा, एंडलेस है. तो सिमिलरली जब इस तरह से चलते हैं तो वो संपूर्ण हो जाता है, मतलब वो पूरा हो रहा है. अभी सुबह हुई शाम हुई, फिर सुबह हुई फिर शाम हुई, तो ये पूरा पूरा चक्र, मतलब एक तरह से हमें एक साइकिल का पता चल रहा है. तो दिस इज हाउ उन्होंने एक साइकिल का, टाइम साइकिल के बारे में हमें they have focused on it through this particular reference. अगर हम सवन की बात करें, as I said, it is related to some यज्ञ. It is related to सोम यज्ञ, which says कि 3 सवनों में इस यज्ञ को करना है. वो कौन से सवन है? क्योंकि प्रथम सवन जो है प्रातः सवन, सुबह का टाइम जो है, that is related to the dedicated to अग्नि. and the मध्याह्न दिन टाइम जो है, जो forenoon का टाइम है, that is related to the इंद्रदेव. एंड जो उसके बाद का जो टाइम है, तृतीय सवन जो है, जो तीसरा सवन रहता है दिन में, दैट इज रिलेटेड टू विश्वदेवा. सो इस तरह से एक यज्ञ की प्रैक्टिस के थ्रू दे हैव डिवाइडेड द डे टाइम आल्सो इन 3 डिफरेंट पार्ट्स, दैट इज कॉल्ड द सवन. सो दिस इज हाउ वी कैन से दैट इवन द पार्ट्स, द टाइम ऑफ द पूरा जो टाइम है, डे टाइम कैन आल्सो बी डिवाइडेड इनटू सर्टेन पार्ट्स लाइक दिस. सो अगर हम इसको इस तरह से समझे, ऋषि इज गिविंग अस नॉलेज ऑन द टाइम. बाद में तो बहुत ही इसका विस्तार हो गया और बहुत ही एक्सप्लेनेशंस मिलती हैं हमें on related to time in various features, various facts. But इसका स्टार्ट अगर हम देखना चाहेंगे, ये सब नॉलेज आई कहाँ से, फ्रॉम विच, इसका ओरिएंटेशन कहाँ था. वैदिक, अगर हमसे कोई पूछे व्हाट इज द वैदिक ओरिएंटेशन ऑफ कंसेप्ट ऑफ टाइम, तो उसका ओरिएंटेशन अगर हमें कहीं दिखाना है, such kind of details are neither, I don't think that is there in the hymns or the mantras or the sangitas. It is there in the brahmanas only because they have the whole idea of the rituals which is correlated with time simultaneously by side by side. So again an example on purvahan, madhyan and aprahan. देखने में बहुत इजी लग रहा है, आज के वर्ड है, हम बहुत सारे लोग बोलते भी हैं, बट आर दीज वर्ड्स, क्या इसका यूज पहले था, ये देखने की बात है. अभी इसमें भी हमें शतपथ ब्राह्मण का रेफरेंस मिलता है, which says पूर्वाहन. आहन मीन्स डे, पूर्व मीन्स पहला. तो आहन, डे का जो पहले का टाइम है, डे टाइम में जो पहले वाला टाइम है, दैट इज डेडिकेटेड टू देवतास, जो हमारे इष्ट देव हैं या गॉड है, ईश्वर है, जो भी आप मानते हैं. एंड द मध्याह्न काल जो है उसका, मध्याह्न, ahan means day and madhyan means middle part of the day, is dedicated for the manushas, for the like we said, like हम जैसे हैं, जो प्राणी जन है, उनके लिए, मनुष्यों के लिए है. and the aprahan is again, ahan है day and aprahan means जो उससे, upper means उससे जो दूर है, मध्याह्न से जो हटके है, आगे का टाइम है, that is dedicated to the पितृ या जिसे हम forefathers या ancestors कहते हैं. So this is how again the whole idea of dividing the day time into 3 parts is there by the Vedic Rishi only. And this is, and you can say, you can see on your screens, like they have said, they have given us an order कि मध्याह्न दिन में ही पुनराधान यज्ञ करना चाहिए, उसका आदेश मिल रहा है. ये भी शतपथ ब्राह्मण का ही रेफरेंस है, though I haven't given the reference here number, but again it is said कि मध्याह्न दिन इज द बेस्ट फॉर द पुनराधान यज्ञ. क्यों? अब उसका रीजन भी दे रहे हैं. दैट रीजन इज वेरी सुपर्ब, जिसको मैं कहूंगी मध्याह्न दिन की छाया सबसे छोटी होती है. आज हमारे यहाँ इंडिया में तो इट इज वेरी पॉपुलर कि वो जंतर मंतर बनाया हुआ है, उससे पूरा एस्ट्रोनॉमिकल स्टडी हो रहा है, सब कुछ हो रहा है. लेकिन ये छाया का ज्ञान, जो ये शेड है, जो सन रेज का जो शेड है, और वो किस तरह से वो लंबा है कि छोटा है. पहले तो प्राचीन टाइम में, जहां तक मैं समझती हूँ, बहुत सारा हमारा जो लिटरेचर तो था नहीं उस तरह से, तो जो ज्ञान था वो सारा का सारा टाइम भी इस तरह से नहीं हम देख रहे थे जैसे आज देखते हैं. उस टाइम, दैट टाइम इज टोटली बेस्ड ऑन द सन एंड द मूवमेंट ऑफ द सन. तो जिस तरह से उसका शेड, उसका परछाई हमें नीचे देखने को मिलती थी, उस छाया ज्ञान से ही हम सारा जो है कैलकुलेशंस टाइम की करते थे। एंड वी यूज टू टेक लाइक, हमें अपने आप में फिर अनुमान लगाना पड़ता था कि दिस जो ये छाया है, ये सुबह की है कि शाम की है कि दोपहर की है, और ये कितनी देर तक रहेगी, उसके अनुसार से हम टाइम कैलकुलेट करते थे। तो इस जो ये आइडिया है पूर्वाहन, मध्याह्न, अपराहन, देखने में इट लुक्स वेरी सिंपल एंड इजी, but just see the idea behind this, that Rishi is trying to use his observations on the basis of the sun rays, and sun rays जो उसको उनको सामने आ रही हैं, उससे जो छाया बन रही है, और this whole idea again evolved into the full fledged जो ज्योतिष का, जो हमें बाद में पूरा छाया ज्ञान पे जो रिलेटेड टाइमिंग्स एंड जितना डिटेल्स मिलता है, सो ये उसका प्रारूप है। दिस इज द इंट्रोडक्शन टू सच काइंड ऑफ अ स्टडी। Then Bhoot, Bhavya and Bhavishya. Again, these looks very simple, like past, present and the future. काल त्रय के रूप में ये बात बार बार यजुर्वेदीय ब्राह्मणों में आई है कि 3 तरह के काल होते हैं, या भूत होता है, या भव्य होता है, या भविष्य होता है। इसमें से जो भूत है वो निश्चित है, जो हो चुका वो तो निश्चित है ही, लेकिन जो भविष्य है, दैट इज द फ्यूचर वन, इट इज टोटली अनप्रिडिक्टेबल, उसको नहीं निश्चित किया जा सकता। और ये दोनों किस रूप में है, फिलॉसफी भी उसके साथ जोड़ी गई है। जिसे आत्मा निश्चित है, हमेशा रहने वाला है, पर प्रजा जो है वो कभी भी नहीं रहने वाली। प्रजा मीन्स वी लिविंग बींग्स जो हैं, या हमारे साथ जो फ्लोरा फौना जितना भी कुछ लिविंग है, वो कभी भी नहीं रहने वाला, तो वो अनिश्चित है। इस तरह से फिलॉसफी को बताते हुए यहाँ पर 3 कालों की, भूत, भव्य और भविष्य के बारे में बात की गई है। और आप ये देखें कि यहाँ पर सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट बात जो मुझे लगी वो ये थी कि हम आज तो बहुत आराम से कह देते हैं कि ये बात कल हुई थी, ये कल होगी, आज तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। दीज आर सच सिंपल स्टेटमेंट्स फॉर अस, बट अगेन जिन्होंने कैलकुलेट किया और जिन्होंने इस तरह का, जिसको हम कहेंगे स्टडी की, अध्ययन किया, उनके लिए कितना रहा होगा कि वो कैलकुलेट करें कि सन अगेन उस पोजीशन में आ गया जहां कल था, जहां कल था। तो वो इसका मतलब एक काल चक्र पूरा घूम चुका है, और जब वो काल चक्र घूम चुका है तो इट मीन्स आज टुडे वी आर इन प्रेजेंट। जो हो गया था वो भूत था, एंड जो होने वाला है, इसी तरह दोबारा उन्होंने सोचा कि कल जब आएगा तो उसको हमने भविष्य मान लिया। तो इस तरह से ये छोटी छोटी बातों को, जिसको हम कह सकते हैं सूक्ष्म दृष्टि ऋषियों की जो रही, एंड द स्मॉलर यूनिट्स ऑफ टाइम ही हैज गिवन अस, and we have other examples also to share, but today in this presentation I'm giving this just few of them as an example to you to have an idea. I will elaborate them in my next lecture, but this whole idea is for you to just to understand that time is nothing but it is cyclic in nature. जो सारा का सारा आइडिया है यही हमें बताता है कि सारा टाइम पीरियड जो है, टाइम साइकिल जो है, वो साइक्लिक है, दैट इज अ कॉन्टिन्यूस प्रोसेस, और छोटे स्मॉलर यूनिट्स के थ्रू ऋषि ने बड़े यूनिट तक वो पहुंचे हैं। तो थैंक यू फॉर दिस।
Abrahamism celebrates chronology, and in Vedic culture, chronology is also there, but for a short time. Like for example, if you look at a circle, and if you zoom down into a circle, there will be a series of straight lines on the edges, because that's how the circle is there. But if you look from a distance, it looks like one uniform line, circular line. But if you close down, it's small. So chronology is that small piece, the smallest unit. And the whole world is fighting on chronology. You're on mute, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
So the whole world is fighting on chronology. But when it comes to Vedic periods, it's cyclical, because we are talking about very large periods of time, large. So how do you answer an Abrahamism, I'll say afflicted professor, Abrahamism afflicted professor, whose brain is thinking in Abrahamism, but his actions are talking Vedic, because he's talking cyclical time. They all teach. But when it comes to theory, it's all linear. Like there is no, the world started and world is never going to end, and it continues. Only in Hollywood movies the world ends. But in Abrahamism mindset, the world never ends and the earth is also flat. So how do you contrast that between them and us?
See, I don't think I'm so knowledgeable that I can contrast or contradict any other statements. But as per our Vedic rishis and the thoughts given by them, when they are saying they are waiting for the other day to have the sun rise on them. So this is how they are explaining the smaller units of time, like I said, like Sai, Prata, Adhyashva. तो इस तरह से जब वो बात कर रहे हैं, तो it means they are waiting and they know they when you listen to my lecture on Surya or talk on Surya, you will come to know that they are very much familiar with this concept that Surya आज sunrise हुआ है और कल sunset हो, तो आज शाम तक sunset हो जाएगा और sunrise and sunset ही से ही सारा अग्निहोत्र को वो जोड़ते अपनी बात कर रहे हैं. So how can they think about that this logic that Earth is flat, it is not circular?
Logical. I mean, the basic intelligent logic is missing sometimes when you talk to a very orthodox kind of mindset. So therefore, they have to separate science out, because if the science is included in their culture, then they're questioning everything they have, and that's where the belief-based system takes a precedence. Now, one more thing is when the time is cycled. Now we see your watches every day, right? Everyone is watching that. You can see your watch. Today is right now 5:51. Tomorrow also is going to be 5:51. Day after tomorrow is also going to be 5:51. Now, your watch is cyclical. You're calculating time cyclical. And well, tomorrow nobody knows, but still the everything else is cyclical. It repeats again and again. And that's why it is said the history repeats itself. Now, one question for you is to answer to all the students who are watching also, is that if we suppose we stop the time, if we are able to stop the time, then what happens?
Then what happens? I think this question is for the physics people because they say that we are here because of the time only. And even the Vedic people, whatever study I am sharing with you or my fellow colleagues on your show are sharing related to time. So we are actually giving the introduction, or we can say platform provide kar rahe for the scientists to have this, to take this Vedic knowledge from us and uske upar wo research kare, and they can say that they have found all these concepts from the Vedas only, whatever scientists they are doing today. क्योंकि ये सारा हमने ही ज्ञान दिया जिसको लेकर वो आज अपना उनका सारा फिजिक्स है सब कुछ.
This is a very good question to think about for the rest of the day. If I have no time, then what happens? No anxiety, no deadlines, no plans for the future. You're just happy where you are because nothing is changing. Now, there are two statements in Gita, which really I love it. Krishna says again and again, he says, Avyayam, I don't change. And then he says, Kalo Asmi, I am Kal. That means I'm constant. And so suppose if the time vanishes, if his time and he is not changing and time is not absent, is conspicuous by its absence, then it's a state of moksha, because now you're no worries, Vaikuntha, without Kuntha, right? No anxiety.
But Aditya ji, we already faced Corona time, Corona era, I must say. During that era, we don't have to visit our offices, our daily routines were disturbed, everything was, and we were not following any time. Anytime we can wake up, anytime we can have our lunch and breakfast and everything. So, but I think every people in this whole world suffered this कि उनको time वो नहीं था routine, तो our lives are disturbed. So हम time की importance को नहीं छोड़ सकते.
Yeah, no, we should not leave the importance of time. It's very constant. But it's a hypothetical scenario. If there is no time, then how you live? Like even the corona time also, we were super busy. We had like shows after shows after shows.
Even I was also very busy.
We were super busy.
But again, but we are the academicians. What about others who have nothing to do? I mean, they have just a family to look after. What they are going to do then if they don't have time?
Generally, the Vedas describe this is a world of self-created duties and responsibilities. Self-created. So there are many ways to get ourselves busy. Like we'll touch upon some other time. Like, for example, there is no jobs report in Mahabharata era. No government is giving jobs report, right? You'll never see Yudhishthir giving a jobs report to Narada. Oh, this many people employed. There's no anxiety of that sort, right? In
हाँ,
Dashrath Maharaj is not giving jobs report to Vasishtha Muni, saying, okay, now 2 million are employed, 5 million are employed, 10 million. There's no reports like that. There's nowhere because everyone was employed in some ways or the other. So I think somewhere we are creating the artificial report. I mean, economic growth is needed for everyone, and economic growth comes from trading and better realization of time. So there's no report like that, no reports anywhere. So the modern systems have created unnecessary anxieties. So that's why I brought the question of time, Kala, because if the Kalo Asmi and Kal doesn't change, that means there is no time. Natat bhasate
so it
suryo,
means
na shashanko na pavaka. There is no sun, there
नहीं
is no moon.
नहीं बट इट मीन्स अभी तक तो हम काल को उसका फिलोसफिकल एस्पेक्ट आत्मा से जोड़ रहे हैं, अपनी प्रजा से जोड़ रहे हैं, जो मैं कह रही हूँ कि वो तो आत्मा है, परमात्मा साक्षात ईश्वर है। बट जब आप इस तरह से हमने बात की और कोरोना टाइम से हमने रिलेट किया, तो हमने टाइम को
Correct?
इकोनॉमिकली मोड़ दिया कि आज हम टाइम को एक्चुअली इकोनॉमिक उसमें ही करते हैं कि
Yeah,
सी अभी मेरी आधे घंटे का इनसे चैट है, फिर आधे घंटे मेरा नेक्स्ट मीटिंग है, फिर उससे नेक्स्ट है। सो हम उनको मॉनेटरी टर्म्स में सबको कैलकुलेट करते हैं और टाइम को भी हमने इकोनॉमिक बना दिया।
that's right. That's right.
That's a good.
Time is
That's a
money.
good point. Good. मतलब वैदिक ऋषियों ने हमें आत्मा का बताया था भाव, उनकी अनिश्चितता को बताने या निश्चितता को बताने के लिए, उसका जो
Correct.
आपने का कांस्टेंट है,
That's
बट
right.
हमने प्रेजेंट टाइम में उसे इकोनॉमिक बना दी।
Bilkul. Thank you so much. What a wonderful presentation. And thank you for paying attention to my question last time. Very grateful to you. And for all the viewers who are watching it, did you enjoy the show? Do comment on it. Let us know your feedback. And you can ask as many questions as you can. Namaste and thank you.
थैंक यू आदित्य जी, थैंक यू।